to The Wave of Things. My name is Andrei Savitier. I'm back in my town Košice and I found a new bar. It's called Dolly and the coffee is excellent. For weeks I was writing with Michael from ASTARI NITE to find an appointment for an interview, but he was very busy recording his new album, Midnight Conversation, and now it's finally out and we had our talk. Let's see what he has to say.
I'll never find you, my sweetest friend, but I'll use trust. Will you wait for the never-ending? Where's your God when you see the truth? Will you wait for the never-ending? I know the ways to pay before.
Hello, I am here today with Michael from ASTARI NITE from
Hello.
Florida. Florida is the Sunshine State. What brings someone from Florida to such a dark music as you make it?
I think it had to do with my upbringing. I went to Catholic school and I grew up with two older brothers who were listening to bands like Depeche Mode and To New Order and the Go-Go's and The Cure. So that was kind of the background sound to my childhood. And that's more or less it, you know. It's unfortunate as you grow older, sometimes you dissect things a little bit more as to when you were a child. So I guess if I was appreciative towards anything that my two older brothers have given me, it would be the music that they listened to when I was a kid, because it kind of shaped what my band, ASTARI NITE, is now.
So those are also your main influences on the music nowadays?
You know, as time grown by, you know, I've been influenced by people in general or other things that I might have or things that I have gone through or conversations that I've had with people in the past. But as far as bands that I'm really influenced now, I think that Placebo stands out very well. I think that there's a band that we play with sometimes that we have in the past called Vows, which is very cool. Our friend Lynette, she has a band. Can you see my t-shirt?
Bestial?
Yes. Lynette, she has a band. That's her band. You know, I'm influenced by a lot. Of course, Depeche Mode and Interpol. Interpol sticks out to me a lot as well.
It took us a long time to meet online, actually, because you were quite busy recording your third studio album. How was the recording?
The recording process was fairly easy because our guitar player, Howard Melnick, he records us, he has all the equipment, and we were fortunate enough to have Tom Shearer of Assemblage 23 actually produce the album, which was, you know, a nice surprise. It was very cool. He's somebody that I've admired in the past and I had the chance to actually, you know, play with. So for me, that was a memory that will always stay in my head forever. I think that Tom Shearer is a brilliant writer. I'm very fond of his work and, you know, his lyrics touch me deeply. And for me, that's what it's about, you know, being touched and influenced by lyrics and, you know, love or sorrow that others have. It's just this weird thing I have in my head.
You shared the stage with quite some renowned musicians, like the Psychedelic Furs, or even with Modern English, I read.
Yeah, they were all very, very nice people. You know, they gave my band, Ilya and myself at the time, you know, a lot of pointers, and, you know, just the fact that they took the time to conversate with us meant the world to me. I think that performing with Peter Murphy, that was something that I'll never forget. Shortly after that, you know, we were contacted and we flew to Germany, to Leipzig, to play with Gothic Revival. So I don't know, it just seems like my band continues to climb mountains more and more, and it's just so fascinating to me that there's bands out there, you know, like The Damned and Peter Murphy, and as you mentioned, Psychedelic Furs and Modern English, even Cold Cave and Vows. You know, just for us to be playing with these bands, it's unheard of. It's beautiful.
You had quite a quick start. How was it in the beginning? Your album Stereo Waltz came out in 2014, as I remember.
Yeah, you know, 2014 was a strange year for Ilya and I. We started beginning, we put out Stereo Waltz. Shortly after, we got signed to Dance Macabre Records. You know, of course, that's fronted by Bruno Kram of Das Ich. And, you know, we went through a massive lineup change. And then we regrouped. We found what we wanted in, you know, guitar players and bass players, and started changing our sound a bit and progressing a bit more. And it was just wild. It was such a wild start, and it worked out for the best. People love the Stereo Waltz album to this day. You know, we always get asked to play, you know, specific songs from that album, like Pyramids and IO 1987, and people just love these songs. It makes me very, very happy, and I'm always pleased to perform those songs. Even though they bring back tragic memories, I'm always pleased to listen and play.
What are your general lyrical themes?
Wow, you know, make-believe, truth, love, sorrow, anger, angst. I guess it all depends on what season it is during the year as I'm writing. You know, I try to be happy during my writing, but sometimes sadness can get the best of you.
You played sometimes in Europe, or just at Wave Gothic?
We did a tour with Das Ich. We did Glasgow and Manchester and London. And we are getting ready to go back at the end of the year, where Bruno Kram, he's doing this Dance Macabre Records Gothic edition. So that's what we have going on for Germany for this year, you know, so to speak, in regards to Europe. And then I believe we have a bunch of plans for 2019 to come back.
I hope once I can see you live then.
That would be beautiful. I'd love the opportunity to actually shake your hand in person.
The name ASTARI NITE. I tried to look it up on the internet, what ASTARI means. What is it? Didn't find anything. There was a computer game from Japan or so. I don't know.
Yeah, at the time I was living in Hollywood on the beach in that area, and a girl that I was seeing at the time, she hung the ASTARI NITE painting on my wall. And I started like gazing at it a lot, and you know, they have the buildings and you can see like the little people in them and the little houses and whatnot, and I loved the name. I thought it was really, really cool. So I told Ilya shortly after him, and I decided to start a band that I wanted to name it an ASTARI NITE. And he said, perhaps we can, but you know, we can modify it and make it shorter. And he came up with ASTARI NITE. So I kind of got what I wanted, and he had his input in it. And here we are, ASTARI NITE.
Do you have also many live shows in the place where you are, in Florida?
We actually just finished playing a couple of shows. We played with Peter Hook and the Lights. I think that was like a month or two ago. Then Das Ich came to town. We got to play with them, and we just finished a couple of shows in support of our new album, Midnight Conversations, which was received very well. We played Miami, and we played West Palm Beach, and we played Orlando, Florida, and it was just really, really cool. The people here, they gravitate to our music. It's nice. It's nice being part of, you know, this whole entire Gothic revival. Many people consider us, you know, something of importance in the Gothic revival, and you know, that makes us happy. We're getting ready to go to New York to play A Murder of Crows, which is another huge post-punk Gothic rock festival that's put on by a friend of ours named Sean Templar.
this Gothic Revival, what you mentioned. Can you tell us more about this? Because we in Europe, we don't know how it looks like in the US with this kind of music.
You know, in the US, I guess it's different here. You have bands like I've mentioned, and like people that write us up, like bloggers and stuff, they constantly mention that we're part of this Gothic Revival, and even, you know, some of the people that we've spoken to in the past, the bands that we played with. You know, it's just this newer generation that are playing music, you know, with Gothic and post-punk elements. And like everything else, it's just a silly name that's getting thrown out there, and that's what you get classified under. It's kind of like if you were a product in the supermarket. You know, you're either a lollipop or you're a candy cane.
Do you have more feedback from Europe or from the US about your music?
It's kind of even in general. We have a great publicist, and she's my best friend, you know, and I love her to death. And she just works so hard for ASTARI NITE, you know. She loves it. She believes in our music, and, you know, she's cool with a lot of people over in Europe and cool here in the US. So the press has been very overwhelming, you know, in regards to the Midnight Conversations album. It's only been out for like a week and a half, and it's just consistent. I don't know, man. I just enjoy playing music, so all of this is very overwhelming. And people taking the time to listen to what, you know, a small band like ASTARI NITE is doing, it's beautiful.
Do you want to add something what wasn't mentioned yet?
You know, I think it's safe to say that we're actually writing our 2019 album. And I know Midnight Conversations is brand new and it's, you know, going on 2 weeks old and whatnot, but we already, you know, have material for an EP that we plan on putting out.
Michael, thank you very much for this talk.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much for taking, of course, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day or evening to chat with me. And again, I look forward to meeting you in person someday. And then for now, thank you so much.
Very nice talk with ASTARI NITE. As always, thank you very much for watching. See you next time.